Governor Matawali sends red signal to COVID-19 sabotage in Zamfara State. NCDC records 338 new cases, total infections now 5,969. Banks reject payments to foreign business partners. From business, Airtel Africa posts $598 million profit, and on the international scene, Madagascar records first fatality over coronavirus. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. My name is Samira Ibrahim. Now the news in full. Governor of Zamfara State, Honorable Bello Muhammad Matawalem Maradon, has vowed to punish anyone sabotaging efforts of the state government in controlling the deadly coronavirus. He noted that some people were not observing the government directive towards the prevention of COVID-19. Instead, they were sabotaging genuine efforts. This observation was made by the Governor's Special Advisor on Media and Public Enlightenment, Comrade Zailani Bappa in Gusau, during a chat with Daily Post. He said the government has been doing all it could to ensure that coronavirus is totally prevented in the state, but some people are busy betraying the government's efforts. To prevent COVID-19 is the main reason why Governor Bello Muhammad Matawalli has been putting up so many measures such as closure of schools, markets and public gatherings, even government offices in the state. According to him, the governor has no intention to witch hunting anybody, not even the opposition, stressing that the measures were taken to prevent the dreaded COVID-19 in the state. The governor's spokesman explained that some people have taken over the duties of medical experts, going around telling people how many people have died of coronavirus in the state without proper confirmation from the State Ministry of Health. Zailani further explained that only the state government has the power to announce the number of people that have been infected, dead or kept in the 3 isolation centers in the state, saying that the government is not unaware of plans to discredit Matawalli's administration. He therefore urged the people of the state to ignore rumors from public enemies, pointing out that the state government is committed to saving lives in the state. Kaduna State government has readjusted the 2-day window of the restriction of movement order. This is to allow residents to purchase food and other essentials from markets. A statement by the Managing Director of Kaduna Market Development and Management Company, Muhammad Hafiz Bayero, on Sunday said Wednesdays and Thursdays are now the 2-day window which the restriction of movement will be relaxed. Residents will be free to visit their neighborhood markets on 20th and 21st May 2020 to purchase food and other essential items. He clarified that this adjustment means that no market will be open next Saturday. Alhaji Bayero emphasized that the temporary neighborhood markets are to operate from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the 2 days on which the restriction of movement is relaxed. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) says mobilization of prospective corps members will not happen anytime soon. NYSC Director General Brigadier General Ibrahim Shaibu told PR Nigeria that the process had been put on hold due to the coronavirus pandemic. General Shaibu explained that the management will only organize fresh orientation exercises when the course becomes clear. He recalled that Batch A Stream 1 corps members who were already camping were hurriedly dismissed due to the outbreak of coronavirus. The DG disclosed that they will be recalled to their various orientation camps to complete the remaining part of the training. In yet another grand corruption at the Lagos State House of Assembly, Sahara Reporters has discovered how Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, Deputy Speaker Wasiu Sani, and 17 other members received 80 million naira as Esther code. The lawmakers received the fund after attending a 5-day event in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Sahara Reporters had in a series of reports exposed how Obasa and some of his allies at the Lagos Assembly diverted public funds for personal use. Some of the reports showed how Obasa prudently approved the sum of 258 million naira for the printing of invitation cards for the inauguration of the 9th Assembly 2 months after the event held. The online news publication also revealed how the speaker approved 11 million naira monthly to maintain his personal residence and guest house, and 53 million naira from the state coffers to travel with his mistress to the United States of America. The fresh document seen by Sahara reporters revealed how 19 lawmakers led by Obasa and Sani went for a women leadership program and received 80 million naira as estacade after returning from the program. The document dated December 30, 2019 stated that the payment was released on the orders of the Lagos Assembly Speaker. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) on Sunday recorded 338 new cases of COVID-19 in the country, bringing the total number of infections in Nigeria to 5,959. The NCDC also said that 6 new patients have been confirmed dead to the virus in the country, bringing the total number of deaths to 182. According to the health agency, the 338 new cases were confirmed in 18 states. The 338 new cases were reported from Lagos with 177, Kano with 62, FCT 21, Rivers 16, Plateau 14, Oyo 11, Katsina 9, Jigawa 4, Kaduna 4, Abia 3, Bauchi 3, Borno 3, Gombe 2, Akwa Ibom 2, Delta 2, Ondo 1, Kebbi 1, and Sokoto 1. The NCDC stated that no new state has reported a case in the last 24 hours. The health agency said till date, 5,959 cases have been confirmed, 4,183 active cases, 1,594 cases have been discharged, and 182 deaths have been recorded in 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that the health agency announced the inclusion of the 26 laboratories to the National COVID-19 Laboratory Network. Deposit money banks, DMBs, are turning down payment requests from customers seeking to pay business partners abroad with Naira debit cards. Banks are asking customers paying clients abroad to do so in the currency of beneficiary's country, as against the previous practice where lenders debited the Naira accounts to customers at the prevailing exchange rate and remitted dollars equivalent to the offshore beneficiary's account. It was gathered that the old practice was depleting foreign reserves and putting pressure on the Naira-dollar exchange rate at the time Nigeria's dollar earnings are on the decline due to the low oil prices caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Many banks are not only insisting that customers pay in the currency of the recipient account, but also that it must be through inflows from abroad in line with CBN's domiciliary account policy, which directed that only electronic fund transfers into the domiciliary account can be transferred from such accounts to third parties, while cash deposit into such accounts can only be withdrawn in cash. GT Bank Card Service Team emailed one of its customers paying for online advert placement on Facebook with her Naira debit card, saying her transaction request was declined based on a temporary restriction it placed on dynamic currency conversion (DCC) on all banks' cards. There is reprieve for state government following President Muhammadu Buhari's approval of the suspension of deductions of loan and bailout funds from their monthly allocation. The coronavirus pandemic has virtually destroyed the world economy, draining Nigeria's oil revenue to the bottom. The Federation account projected revenue has dropped by more than half, a situation that will make it impossible for states to meet up with their obligations, including payment of workers' salaries from next month. The federal government has slashed budget 2020 as a result of the economy crunch. Many states have also downgraded their financial projections. It was learned that the president acceded to the request of the governors to suspend the deductions for 1 year. This will enable them to cope with the financial challenges posed by COVID-19. Each state will, however, go to its lender to negotiate the interest rate on their credit facilities. The federal government adjusted its 2020 budget benchmark from $57 to $30 per barrel. It is further considering a realistic template of $20 per barrel. Although 606.196 billion naira was available as Federation account allocation for April, the distributed statutory revenue of 370.411 billion naira received for the month was lower than the 597.696 billion naira for the previous month by 227.265 billion naira. The federal government has donated 130 trailers of grains to Kano State government as part of efforts to cushion the effect of lockdown on residents. The Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Faruk, made this known during the handing over of the relief materials to the government on Sunday. The minister said she was in Kano on behalf of the President to commiserate with the people over the recent loss of their loved ones and to hand over the relief materials to the state. She said she found her way to the ancient of Kano for one major reason: to stand in solidarity with the people and government of Kano State as they battle the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic and the humanitarian crisis it is leaving in its wake. She expressed her condolences to the Kano Emirate Council over the loss of Dan Iyan Kano, Alhaji Yusuf Bayero, and Professor Tijjani Hashim German Kano, Rano Emirate Council, and family of late Emir of Rano, Dr. Abdullahi Tafida Ila II. May the souls of all the departed rest in peace. Republic of Madagascar has asked Nigeria to pay 170,000 euros for the quantity of its COVID-19 cure drugs sent to the federal government. The quantity of the consignment sent to Nigeria through Guinea-Bissau could not be ascertained on Sunday. Guinea-Bissau President Umaru Sisiko Embalo, who visited President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja on Saturday, brought the drugs allocated to Nigeria by Madagascar. President Buhari said Nigeria will take the drug through incentive tests to determine its suitability. A source on Sunday said, for our consignment in Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar has asked Nigeria to pay over 170 euro, equivalent to 78,200,000 naira. He said the government have received the invoice because the African countries have made it clear that the drugs are not being given out free. We are being asked to pay for the drugs yet to be validated. Since the AU directed the supply of the drugs to African countries, we may have no choice than to pay for it. Nigerian army troops on Sunday killed 20 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province (ISWAP) terrorists at the northwest of Baga town in Borno. Major General John Eneche, the coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Defense Headquarters, disclosed this in a statement on Monday in Abuja. General Eneche said the troops of 130 Battalion, with the support of the Army Super Camp Baga, recorded the success in a decisive intercept offensive operation. He disclosed that the terrorists, who were armed with mortars, rocket-propelled grenades and small arms, were heading to attack villages surrounding Baga when the troops attacked their convoy with overwhelming firepower. According to him, the troops captured 6 AK-47 rifles, 520 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, and 538 hand grenades. However, 9 of the gallant Nigerian soldiers were wounded in action with no loss of life. The wounded were evacuated to Sector 3 hospital for treatment. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukul Buratai, commends the gallant troops for their professionalism and directs them to remain resolute toward eradicating the criminals from the northeast. On business, Airtel Africa PLC has posted a profit before tax of $598 million for the financial year ended March 31, 2020, an increase of 77.2% on $348 million in 2019. Profit after tax stood at $408 million from $426 million recorded in 2019. According to the company, profit after tax was down by 4.4% due to the one-off deferred tax recognition in Nigeria in the year ended 30th March 2019 and a lower exceptional item gained in the current period. Past one of tax benefit, profit after tax for the year increased by $43 million or 17%. Reported revenue grew by 11.2% as 13.8% constant currency growth was partially offset by currency devaluation. The strong performance was largely driven by the growth of our customer base, up by 11.9% to 110.6 million, as well as 3.3% growth in ARPU. Across the regions, Nigeria and East Africa continue to deliver strong performance, and performance in Francophone Africa continued to improve with revenue of 4.1% in fourth quarter 2020. Revenue growth was broadly based across all key segments: voice up 5.2%, data of 39.0%, and mobile money up 37.2% in constant currency terms. Chief Executive Officer Airtel Africa PLC, Rahunat, said the results were in line with aspirations set out at the time of the company's initial public offerings (IPO), with performance sequentially improving during the year. And on the international scene, Madagascar on Sunday reported the first death of a patient suffering from the novel coronavirus, nearly 2 months after it was first detected in the country. The Indian Ocean island, which has reported 304 cases, has hit the headlines over a homegrown herbal concoction that President Andry Rajoelina claims can cure people infected with the virus. Several African countries have ordered or expressed interest in the purported remedy, which is known as COVID Organics. The tonics drink is derived from Artemisia, a plant with proven efficacy in malaria treatment and other indigenous herbs. But the World Health Organization (WHO) has warned against adopting a product that has not been taken through tests to see its efficacy. Still on the international scene, China's ambassador to Israel, Du Wei, has died in his apartment in a suburb of Tel Aviv, Israel media reports. Mr. Du, 58, was found dead in his bed, and the cause of his death has not yet been reported. He was only appointed ambassador in February, having previously served as China's envoy to Ukraine. The ambassador was married and had a son, but his family are not believed to have been in the country. He was living in the Tel Aviv suburb of Herzliya, BCC. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Governor Matawale sends red signal to COVID-19 sabotage in Zamfara State. NCDC records 338 new cases, total infections now 5,969. Banks reject payments to foreign business partners. From business, Airtel Africa posts $598 million profit. And on the international scene, Madagascar records first fatality over coronavirus. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew, Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garbatuna, I am Samira Ibrahim, wishing you a pleasant day. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News. Goodbye.